Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. Today I'm going to be doing a little get ready with me featuring the ABH Sultry palette to create this more glam holiday look. The big Sultry is no longer sold, but there is a mini version available now, so I will link that below and you can create a very similar look using that. So if you want to see how I created this holiday glam look, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure how this look is going to turn out, but I'm excited to dip into my ABH Sultry palette. This is just kind of a no-brainer for this time of year. And even though they don't sell the large version of this anymore, there is a mini version that is available. I'll link it below, and it has a lot of the same colors in here, obviously, just, it's like half the palette instead of the full one. So you should be able to create a very similar look if you have that palette or anything with these type of cool tone, sparkly, glittery colors. So I've already primed my eyelids using my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Eye Primer. So I think what we're gonna do now is find our crease shade with this shade Twig. So I definitely want this to be like a smokier, more glam look for the holidays. So I really want to deepen up that outer corner. So I'm going to go into this middle shade on the bottom row called Dystopian. And just see how I can pack that on the outer corner. So I'm kind of tapping instead of rubbing, if that makes sense. So I'm just tapping it on. Okay, I think that's a pretty good base for the outer corner. So now I just have to decide, am I gonna go more the gold bronze route, or should I do the silver look? There's a really pretty silver in here that I actually think I've only used like once or twice. This cyborg shade, but then you can see there's also some really pretty golds and bronzes in here and like some rose golds and pinks, but I think I'm gonna do the silver, but I'm just gonna use my finger. That seems to work best with glitter and shimmer shades. So I'm just putting that on more so the inner 2/3 of my eyelid, kind of overlapping that dark outer corner a little bit. And it's okay, I'm gonna blend and I'm gonna add more to the outer corner if I need to. And I will say with ABH shadows in general, I've never really had a huge problem with like fallout or the glitter getting everywhere. The only palette I kind of had some powdery fallout with was the Subculture palette, I think, and it still wasn't that bad. I remember people were like going crazy over that, like digging the shadows out and stuff. And I will say that formula was definitely more powdery than her other ones, but I still don't think it was like the worst I've ever experienced. I don't own that palette anymore, but all the other ones I've owned, I have never really had any issues with like major fallout. So even though I didn't do my base makeup first today, I did the eye first because I knew I was kind of going to get a little messy at the edges, so I wanted to be able to clean that up later. But all in all, I think all the shades in the palettes perform really well, and especially like the glitter shades, like the silver I just did, they do work really well if you just use your finger. So I think now we're going to go back in and just blend a little bit. I actually think I'm gonna go into the black shade, Noir, just like very lightly and kind of try and deepen that outer corner a little bit because we kind of put that silver on top and it kind of faded some of it out. And I want it to be a little more intense than it is, but not like straight up black. So we're just gonna do very light hand. Okay, and since we went the more silver black route, I'm gonna use a black liquid liner to just line my upper lash line. I had also put up my brown just in case. This would have been nice if I had done the more I mean, it's all kind of a cool toned palette, but if I had gone more that gold bronze route, I probably would have done brown liner, but I'm gonna do black. But I'm gonna do a pretty thin line because I don't want it to be overly intense. I just want it to really complement the look. Okay, so I did a little bit of black liner. I am gonna come back and kind of do a little bit on the lower lash line and we'll do mascara and everything, but I'm gonna hop off and do my foundation and then we'll be back to finish the eyes and do some blush, bronzer, and pick our lips. So I will be right back. All right, we're back. I did foundation and concealer and powder and filled in my eyebrows. So just to let you know, for foundation, I used the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. I had bought this semi recently, but I really haven't worn it a ton because I've really been focusing on my Project Pan foundation. So I wanted to try this out today. And then if you watched my Shop My Stash video last week, which I can link below, I had pulled in this Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Concealer to try out. And I know it's only been a week-ish, a little over a week of me using it, but I don't know if I like it or not. I might need to just play around with it more and figure out the best areas of my face that it works for me. So if you want to leave a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are on this concealer, or if you have any advice on how to use it. I used it kind of all over my face the first couple times, like to cover blemishes or like even out skin tone, and I don't really know if I liked it for that. So I've been experimenting with it under my eyes now, but I also don't know if I like the look of it there either. So this might just be a miss product for me, but I'm gonna keep trying it out for the majority, like the rest of my Shop My Stash everyday makeup drawer that I have right now, and then kind of formulate some more thoughts on it. Yeah, so I did that and then also powdered my face using my Project Pan powder. So again, I'll link that playlist below too, my Project Pan, so that you can stay up to date on that if you haven't been keeping up. The finale will be coming up at the end of the month, so that's pretty exciting. So this is a good time to catch up on all the videos for the previous part of the year. But now let's do some bronzer and blush. So I'm gonna try out this new to me bronzer, this Flower Beauty Heat Wave Luminous bronzer. I typically don't always go for a bronzer that has like some shimmer in it, but I thought it might be nice to go with this look today. So I don't know how much I ended up getting. Just gonna kind of use a bigger brush. See how this looks. Okay, so far I think that looks nice. It's definitely a pretty warm bronzer, but it seems pretty buildable, which I like. So it's not like overly pigmented. Like the first time I went in, it wasn't like, oh, oops, now I have a brown streak on my face. It looks pretty buildable. And I don't know if these have shades or not. This says Sun Slept M1, so maybe that's the shade. I don't know if that's the lightest one. I actually got this at TJ Maxx recently. So fun to try that out. And then for blush, I'm super excited to have this blush in my collection. I treated myself during the Sephora sale, whatever you want to call it, that they just had, where you could get 20% off your whole order. So I had on my wish list for, I don't know, many years at this point, the Bare Minerals Bronzer. So I got the shade Kiss of Pink, and it's just a nice, again, it's got a little bit of a sheen, which I don't normally go for. And it's showing up a little more peachy on camera, but it's definitely more of a pink sheen in real life. So I thought that would kind of go good with this look today too. Just kind of keep it on the more low-key side. But since it has that sheen to it, I thought it would maybe match well with the bronzer. Whoa. That's pretty. I will say, like, I mean, I know the concept of this, it's a blonzer, so they say it's a blush and bronzer. I mean, maybe it's more saying you could just wear this on its own, but I don't know if I'd be putting this, like, up on my forehead and stuff. I don't know. I haven't really ever seen anybody else do that either. Yeah, that's really pretty. Again, if you've watched my Shop My Stash videos this past year, you'll see I really don't have a lot of powder blushes in my collection, so I felt like it was something I could justify this time around. But now let's just blend all of that together a little bit. Okay, yeah, I think that looks really nice. So now I'm going to go back in to the palette and I'm gonna pick up this matte shade up here, Fresh. And I think I'm just gonna use the brush that came in the palette, the kind of fluffy side, because that's the clean side. And I'm just gonna kind of clean up the eye look a little bit. So just kind of under the brow bone. And then like on this side, it's kind of just sharpen that up a little bit. Yeah, that looks a little cleaner. For under the eyes, I want to smudge some shadow under there. So I'm actually going to use this Hard Candy shadow stick in the shade Cold Brew. Even though it's like a more coppery shade and we went more silver, I think it's going to add a little bit of dimension. Okay, so I just brought that about 2/3 of the way in. And then I'm gonna take just like a liner brush and I'm gonna go into the Cyborg shade that we used all over the lid and kind of do that on that inner third, the lower lash line, very lightly. I don't want it to be too shiny. Just do that and then kind of connect it all in the middle. All right, so now I'm gonna do some mascara. I'm just gonna use the Milani Highly Rated Anti-Gravity, and then we will be back to do some lips. All right, so we're back. We did the mascara. I always feel like mascara pulls the whole look together. I also just love the Milani mascara. This is the best one that I've used in a very long time. I really feel like it just like coats my lashes. They're really black. It holds the curl. Highly recommend. Now for lips, you could go more neutral if you wanted. I have like using the e.l.f. O-Faced lipstick in Dirty Talk would be a nice neutral. And then very recently I found this at TJ Maxx and it just reminded me so much of the e.l.f. with the packaging. It's the Lawless lipstick and I got the shade Fawn because I just felt like it was so similar and I just wanted to kind of compare them. This is definitely a little more neutral and this is more pink. But those would both be good options if you wanted to stay more on the neutral side. But I think today, for fun, I'm going to do a red lip, which I very rarely do, but I just feel like it's super holiday and when else am I gonna do something like that? So I'm just gonna use this e.l.f. Seriously Satin lipstick. This is in the shade Cherry. I am still gonna line my lips using a neutral liner. I don't have a red liner, but I'm gonna line my lips just to kind of help stay on the lines. Yeah, I like never wear red, but I think that this is an okay red for me. I definitely feel like it has a little bit more pink in it than like a deep red, so I think it kind of works. It's a little brighter. I think it looks good with the silver. And then the last thing that I think I'm gonna do is add a little bit of highlighter. I'm gonna use my ColourPop highlighter in Lunch Money just because I feel like, again, sometimes the camera does weird stuff. It's coming off more gold on camera, but I definitely think it's more of a champagne silvery shift. So I think that will kind of complement the eye look as well. So just pat that on the high points of my face a little bit so it's not just like a streak. All right, and there you have it. This is my holiday glam-ish look using the ABH Sultry palette. Again, I will link the mini version of this below that is currently available because the big version is no longer being sold, but the mini version has the similar colors. I know it has the silver in it, so I'll link that below along with everything else I used in my face that is available to buy today. But yeah, really glad I tried out this new to me Flower Beauty Heat Wave bronzer. Really enjoyed it. Added some warmth back to my face with that little bit of sheen. Really enjoyed the Bare Minerals bronzer, and then as I said earlier, still figuring out my thoughts on this Flower Beauty concealer. And then excited that I kind of went out of my comfort zone and put on a red lip today. Never do that. So yeah, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below letting me know some of your holiday favorite makeup products. And please subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you're notified of all of my new videos that I upload. I upload once a week. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you all in next week's video. Bye.